Just as energy is the basis of life itself and ideas the source of innovation, so is innovation the vital spark of all human change, improvement, and progress. Ted Levitt, American economist. Innovation has the potential to be the solution to our environmental problems. Innovation has taken on many different forms to address many different needs. Scientific innovation has been used to detect the environmental toxins that plague our water, air, food, and eventually our bodies, leading to the increase in cancer rates, foodborne illnesses, and other health problems. Technological innovation has found ways to harness natural, renewable energy from solar and wind sources, creating new, efficient ways to power our world, easing our dependency on the Earth's depleting fossil fuels. Social innovation has led to the development of social entrepreneurship, a new direction for dealing with society's failings that apply the principles of entrepreneurship to solve many of the world's social emergencies, including poverty, water shortage, and famine. However, the relationship between innovation and the environment is much more complex. Although forms of innovation have been created to bring us out of our environmental crisis, we must realize that these same forms of innovation brought us to this tipping point, where urgent action must be taken to save the Earth we inhabit. Scientific innovation has transformed our food industry so that it looks completely different than it did 50 years ago. Recent award-winning documentary Food Inc. exposed this industry for using harmful pesticides that lead to autism, various cancers, neurological disorders, and foodborne illnesses that all have the potential to be fatal. Technological innovation brought us the automobile, an icon of freedom, progress, and modernity throughout the world, according to Peter Freund and George Martin. However, it is this iconic figure that has led to our great dependence on oil. 57% of global oil is used by ground transport and is also responsible for 80% of urban air pollution, according to Greenpeace International. Where innovation goes wrong is in the motives it stems from. So to analyze the complexity of the relationship between innovation and the environment, we will ask the question, why do innovators create the things they create? The coal industry is a prime example of how technical innovation motivated by the treadmill of production led to the industry having devastating effects on the environment as well as the community. The treadmill of production, defined by Alan Schneeberg and Kenneth Alan Gold, is a concept that emphasizes that we are all part of a system that must continue to grow, to continually produce more and create consumers to consume that which is produced. With the coal industry, the treadmill of production was the motive behind innovation. As the competition intensifies in the energy market with gas, nuclear power, and renewable energy, and the demand for coal has increased, the industry had to find a way to extract it at a faster rate. The innovation solution was mountaintop removal. A new form of coal extraction, mountaintop removal clears off the topsoil and uses explosives to blast off 400 vertical feet of the mountain. Excavators are then used to rapidly extract the coal from the top summit. The destruction of mountaintops and their deciduous forests has had drastic impacts on several endangered species, as the West Virginia mountains contain some of the highest biodiversity in North America. Julia Fox, in her article, Mountaintop Removal in West Virginia, said, "Mountaintop removal is a manifestation of the creative destruction that applies technological innovations to increase the rate of exploitation of labor and nature, producing more coal with less workers." To add to the complexity of the relationship, not only did mountaintop removal drastically impact the biodiversity of the region, but it also took a toll on the West Virginia people. Mountaintop removal eliminated 100,000 West Virginia jobs in 1999. The construction of dams is another example of innovation that illustrates how industrial motives resulted in negative effects on the environment and society. Dams are used to capture water to generate hydroelectric power. These cement barriers provide protection against flooding during serious storms and heavy winters. However, Moore estimated that 30 to 60 million people in the U.S. have been displaced from their homes due to dam construction, and in the U.S. alone, this innovation has caused 2/5 of freshwater fish to become endangered or extinct. Although dams have negative impacts, many see the dam as being a miracle of modern engineering. According to Mick Moore, the building of large dams has been presented as a metaphor for the triumph of human society over the unpredictable forces of nature. The glorification of this innovation and its symbolic role results in decision-makers having few objections to the dam's environmental impact when considering dam construction. Leslie Square labeled the construction of dams as a cultural, ideological, transnational practice where the domination and control of nature becomes an essential and even spiritual duty. For this innovation, rather than financial motives, the creation of dams was motivated by the desire for power and control. There are still many positive and effective initiatives being made to make a positive change for individuals, communities, and the planet. Although Webster's defines innovation as the introduction of something new, some innovation can come from something used. Michael Reynolds is a New Mexico architect who founded Earthship Biotexture. Earthship Biotexture designs and builds radically sustainable homes made completely from byproducts of modern society like cans, bottles, and tires. Reynolds knew the Earth was headed down a fatal road, and he wanted to design a method of living that allowed people to care for themselves, putting quality of life into their own hands. In the documentary Garbage Warrior, Reynolds says blatantly, "I started all this thinking with quality of life in mind. We're talking about survival now." Reynolds' earthships are completely off the grid and self-sustaining. Electricity comes from sun and wind sources. Water is collected and stored from rain and melted snow. Sewage is treated on-site in botanical planters, and heating and cooling comes naturally using solar and thermodynamics. Unlike our previous examples of innovation, the Earthship project is motivated by moral obligation to effect change in people. Part of the Earthship Biotexture mission that can be found on their website at www.earthship.org includes the mission to take small steps towards slowing down and reversing human impact, and to empower people to make positive changes in their own lives to reduce their personal effect on global warming. Lester Brown points out the urgency of the world's water crisis in his book, Plan B. The world's water crisis has many direct ties to other issues in the world, including disease and hunger. In areas where water is sparse, HIV, AIDS, and other diseases run rampant. Food shortages are common because the low water productivity stunts food production growth. In response to this urgent need, Water for People, Play Pumps, and the Case Foundation have joined together to create an innovative solution for the water crisis that not only uses technological innovation, but social innovation to work towards a long-lasting solution. The Play Pump is a merry-go-round-like structure that is used to efficiently pump water for this local school, while also providing a play toy for the school children to play on. Play pumps are only built for schools and is constructed only after the entire village community is supplied with a way to access clean water. After the community gets on board, Water for People then supplies the local school with a play pump. The play pump's concept and the motive behind the Water for People's social entrepreneurship is driven by the same sense of urgency that Reynolds felt about providing self-sustaining housing. 884 million people live without access to safe drinking water. 2.6 billion people live without adequate sanitation. So I leave you with this take on innovation from the organization of Water for People on their website www.waterforpeople.org. This motive is not based on money or power, but on people and the well-being for all. We're convinced that in the water and sanitation crisis, real innovations don't come from hardware or software, but rather from the people on the ground. It is the problem-solving, critical thinking, diagnosing, and testing that ensures the power of innovative thinking goes into every solution.